Hello, my name is Diane Seltzer, and I am an employment lawyer who practices in Washington, D.C. and in Maryland. For about 30 years, I have focused my practice on employment law issues, and a hot topic that we'll discuss today involves social media usage and social media policies by employees. Now, as someone who focuses her practice exclusively on employment law, you can imagine I have seen a number of cases involving people who get into trouble or lose their jobs, or on the other hand, want to fire someone or want to get someone in trouble based on social media posts. So today in our CLE, we're going to talk about what's lawful. Can someone be fired for what they post on Facebook or tweet or put on Instagram? There is a large body of law that addresses these concerns and to which you should look for guidance if you are ever in the situation where you have to decide whether you can take disciplinary action against an employee based on a social media post, or if you are an employee against whom this kind of action is being taken, or of course if you're an attorney representing either one of those types of parties. Our first slide involves what laws are at issue. And there, like I said, are many. The First Amendment free speech right for government employers is a big issue and often is mistakenly applied in the private sector. So again, we will typically only look at First Amendment free speech rights in the context of government employees, unless, of course, the state has some kind of law making the federal or state constitution applicable somehow, either by policy or analogy, in the private sector. We have state constitutions and state laws. The National Labor Relations Act is something we need to look at, and that does apply in unionized and non-unionized workplaces. There's a misconception that this law only applies in the unionized workforce, and that's just not true. There are a number of laws that address off-duty conduct, including off-duty conduct to include political activity or political affiliation or use of marijuana, for example. So there will be state statutes that address off-duty conduct. There will be privacy and defamation related torts that we have to think about. Discrimination laws, the Family Medical Leave Act. Remember, think about people who post pictures that they are skiing while they are allegedly unable to walk and therefore on FMLA leave, but more on that later. Unemployment insurance laws are at issue and workers' compensation laws are at issue. And finally, there are state laws that protect social media privacy, including password privacy. There are going to be statutes in your materials that you can check into to see whether your state actually has a law that says an employer, for example, cannot ask an employee for their social media passwords or for access to their social media accounts. So one thing you have to wonder as you enter into this area is what's generally okay to post? Because this is really like walking on landmines in a sense. This is all relatively new from a legal perspective. Social media has not been around forever and ever, even though it feels like it, and it's hard to remember a time when it wasn't an influence in our personal and professional lives. But the law is evolving, and we need to, a little bit, we're building the airplane as we fly it to some extent. But some things have emerged from the case law that has been developed since social media has been an issue. And what we're learning is that what's generally okay to post would include truthful statements about workplace conditions, truthful statements about the terms and conditions of one's employment, comments that are supportive of the union, of unionization, of joining the union, and that kind of thing. Comments supporting other employees who are opposing violations of EEO laws, or pictures of an employee who's engaged in lawful off-duty conduct in states where such conduct is protected by statute. Now, we will, of course, as this course goes on, get into, well, how do I know that it's generally okay to post these kinds of things? And we will talk about the body of law that's evolved that gives us confidence that these things are okay and perfectly lawful.